So, Liezl, UltraMAP,
Yep.
how long have you worked there?
Um, I've been working with the team for 4 years now.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I manage. By the way, I'm the operations manager for UltraMAP. So I work with the monitoring team. So basically, we monitor the vessel behavior over over a segment of cables, or the cables we monitor. And if we see something odd, then we take an action. So I oversee that. I oversee the operations. Whatever the team needs, I see to it that I get, I provide what they need. So it be it equipment, just a listening ear. Actually, if they have problems with work, they have personal problems, I am a listening ear for them. And also, there are cases as the company is growing. There are cases that the team needs more manpower. So I also facilitate the process of recruiting more people. And currently, we are still growing, and it's getting busier in the next month as we would be growing again. And
Like,
so yeah, so,
like you, I've watched UltraMAP grow over 4, 5, 6 years, something like that.
yeah,
And the monitoring, it seems to me when I chat to Martin, the actual monitoring, which is what you and your team do around the world, it was developed as a response to, this was before you were here, of course, it was a response to what the UltraMAP customers actually wanted, because the development of Asset Monitor, which is the flagship software, as we both know, with
yeah,
UltraMAP, that was developed, and then it's so effective at tracking potential cable strikes that customers started to inquire about UltraMAP's ability to actually respond. This is part of the
yeah.
history as I understand it. And that's why you guys were recruited and grown. Tell me about what it feels like for you and the team on the front line. There must be because you're watching and you're all about assurance, not insurance. You guys aren't the ones who mop up after cable strikes. You're the ones who are determined to
Yeah.
prevent the cable strikes happening in the first place. How does that feel for you and your team? What's it like?
Well, I would just like to share a little bit of background. I was the first one to become part of the monitoring team, and at the beginning, it was pretty scary. I mean, it was really nerve-wracking for me because the responsibility. It was such a big thing. If a cable break happens, what do I do? But with the guide of the directors, um, they helped me how to assess the vessel's behavior properly, how to keep my calm, how to not panic because it really happens if you're first time monitoring. Um, right now, as I've worked with the team for how many years now, it has become my pride that I am one of the people that are monitoring the subsea cables of the world because um, it's it's our pride. It is my pride because I feel that we are the guardians of the subsea cables, and we help the countries, the nations that are connected to the internet, to telecommunications. Their electricity is connected. So I feel happy and I'm proud that I am part of the team.
That's really good. Not least
Yeah,
because you mentioned the word responsibility, I think, but
yeah,
I chat to you because I learned from you, of course. And by the way, my name's Mike, and I'm the guy who's worked with the directors of UltraMAP to help to communicate the great stories that are often tucked away inside the business, and that's one of the reasons I'm talking to you today. But the
mhm,
interesting thing I was going to mention there is to do with the responsibility, because of the costs of, thankfully hardly anything ever, I don't, not much goes wrong really because you guys are watching, but the
yeah,
implications the implications of cable strikes, it's expensive, isn't it? Millions of dollars in some markets.
yes,
Yeah. I mean,
It is.
and when this was mentioned to you at the beginning, did that make your
Mhm.
eyes go wider and go, oh my goodness, this is quite a responsibility? How did that?
It did. It did. It did really. But you know, with years of experience, and then with years of observing these behaviors, not we would come to a realization that not all vessels that come into a cable is a risk.
Yeah.
And then we can then distinguish a risky vessel behavior and not risky one. And what UltraMAP wants to our goal in UltraMAP is to prevent cable breaks from happening, and we do that by taking action just before a strike or just before the risky behavior happens, if that makes sense. So just before a vessel tries to anchor, just before a vessel starts to fish, that's when we take an action. So those cable breaks, those cable damages, um, it's uh, it's in the last part of our worry. What we worry about is
Okay.
that those risky behavior do not happen.
Okay. And have you developed almost a sixth sense to recognize patterns of behavior that are potentially risky? Have you developed that?
Yeah, yeah. Somehow, I think, I think the team and I have developed that kind of sixth sense, if you say that. Um, just by seeing the tracks in asset monitor, we have a tool where we can see the past behaviors, the past tracks of the vessel, where we would see where the vessel has been, which port it has been to. So just by seeing the tracks and the behavior of the vessel, we can then um, conclude what the vessel is doing. And is it anchoring? Is it just drifting? Is it likely to fish? And also the vessels would send out these AIS messages. So in these AIS messages, we would see what their intention is, where they are going, and those information that we see every day, and it's like it's now part of our daily routine, that we are used to see them every day. And then that just and then that in just in a glance we would then come to a conclusion that okay, fine, this vessel will not damage a cable. This vessel is just drifting, or just like that.
And
So,
how do you communicate with how do you actually communicate with the vessels? I mean, both technology wise, and then your demeanor and your attitude and your approach. How do you encourage your team to be when they're chatting to the vessels?
well, what I advise to the team is that we do not demand the whoever we are talking to give our message, or to come across our message to them. We should be polite to whoever we're talking to. If it's a Coast Guard officer, of course, we need to be polite to them, because they're like the Marines and those stuff. What we want to do when we try to contact them is that we request kindly. We give them a kind request, that or we send a message out to them, informing them that, hey, your vessel, or this vessel is near the cable. Would it be okay if you could pass our message along to the captain, so that they would be aware that there's a subsea cable there, and then the captain can then give a decision, or make a decision on what he's going to do. If is he gonna move away, or if he wants to be risky, then he could strike a cable if he wants to. But then we already passed on our message to them, so they can then give a smart decision on what they're gonna do.
I really like that, because your role, correct me if I'm wrong, Liezl, your role is not a passive one. You're not invisible. You're very visible, because you're watching and communicating, and there's like everybody wants the same thing, you know, to reduce cable strikes to zero. And is everybody responsive and supportive, or do you get the occasional, oh, just leave us alone to do what we're doing? How does that work?
Well, most of the time, we get positive responses. Yeah, and we would really be, well, we would really feel glad that we get positive responses from vessel captains, from these coast guards, even the insurance companies of the vessels, the PNI. They're also appreciative of what we do, because if a cable break happens, then it's the insurance companies that would uh, process these claims, and it's costly. It's costly. And in rare times, we also get negative responses. Um, I mean, it's unavoidable. Maybe when yeah.
But you stay calm and
Of
control.
course, of course, of course, and we would always stay calm, and it should always be in a controlled manner, because we do not want these companies or these people to have a negative impression on us, because what we are doing is we are helping them. We're also helping them. We're not just, hey, you, can you please go away. It's not like we are demanding them to move another location away from the people. We are helping them so that their vessel cannot cause a cable break, because this will uh it costs, the cost is large if there's a cable damage, and we're there to help them to prevent that, so that their companies, the vessel companies,
Like I say,
will not be in a position that they need to file a claim or something.
I find this interesting and really encouraging, because you're in a position where you know things that they don't know. So if you came across as policing, I don't know that people would like that as much. You've mentioned more than once that you're helping them. You're actually
Yeah.
helping them to help themselves, it seems to me, and avoid
Hmm.
all sorts of problems. Can I ask you? You protect subsea assets. Does your
Yeah.
team also protect surface assets? Does that happen?
Surface assets, you mean
Well, other vessels,
personal?
or I suppose structures that might exist above the surface of the sea. Is that part of what you're doing? Using assets?
As far as we've been doing things, we've only have been monitoring subsea assets.
Okay.
So as far as Ortez and Martin um, has assigned us in for the monitoring team to monitor, so we have been just monitoring subsea assets.
I think the reason it came to mind, it reminded me of a conversation I was having with Martin, I think, about the cable installers increasingly chatting with UltraMAP about protecting the installers when they have their own vessels, obviously on top of the surface of the ocean, as well as the work they're
Mm-hmm.
doing below. So it was interesting to me. It is an emerging market, it seems to me,
Mm-hmm.
for UltraMAP, but I just wondered if you'd experienced it firsthand, but I'm sure it's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there anything else? I suppose just before we started recording this, I was talking about how it feels doing what you're doing. And as we come to a close, because we'll stop chatting in just a moment, we're going to chat with the rest of the team in another little video, of course, which will be available at the website as well. What I mean, you've been here 4 years now, and I've chatted to you
Yeah.
more than once. And even though it's quite a scary role, you seem to enjoy what you do. Why is it that? Why is it? I know this is a strange thing, but what
Yeah.
is it that keeps you focused and keeps you? Because you're. And the other thing is, it's every second of every day of the year.
Yeah.
You all work on shifts, so it's all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
What keeps the team focused as one on the protection?
I think because it's because of the goal of the company. Our goal is to protect the subsea cables, so that nations or connected, so that connectivity in the world is protected, in these days, internet is very important, especially in the pandemic. Everyone is just in their homes, and there is really a need to connect with other people, to connect to their work, online classes, and it's important that these connections are interrupted. And as I see it, we take pride in ourselves that we are the ones responsible in keeping this connection intact among all the people in the world, and it's such a big responsibility. Yes, it's tiring, and we work 24/7, 365. We get no holidays, but we just take pride in what we do. It's something that motivates us, that we are helping everyone in the world to keep connected, to be connected every day. Yeah.
You do have some holidays though, surely. You.
Yeah, we do. But the connection doesn't stop.
I get you. I just wanted to make it clear that you're not working 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, it's been brilliant to chat again. So thank you very much. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, thank you.